Om Sthapakaya cha dharmasya sarva dharma swarupine avatara varishtaya Ramakrishnaya te namaha. Ram Prasad song. We'll continue with the children of worldliness. Your first wife, plead from a goodly distance, and if they will not listen, drown them in the wisdom's sea. One is of your two wives, dispassion and worldliness. Dispassion and worldliness. They are constant companions. One leads to the evolution, other leads to the involution. Regarding the dispassion, all these upper lines we have discussed. Now he is coming to the worldliness, the process of involution. The tree becoming seed is involution. Seed becoming tree is evolution. The whole tree enters into a seed form to bring up the tree again. So the involution. I am getting involved into the world. I am going to evolve from worldliness to higher levels of consciousness. In case of matter, involution and evolution doesn't matter much, because water becoming cloud and falling down, again becoming cloud and falling down as rain, doesn't matter. Tree becoming seed, seed becoming tree, tree becoming seed, seed becoming tree, egg and hen, doesn't matter, because it is matter in one form or other. But in case of jiva, the conscious entities like life, living beings, it is the evolution and involution are entirely different process. Just for example, we give this tree, and just to make understand what is evolution, involution process, how the tree becomes a seed. The entire tree with all its nature, its every bit of details of the tree, the taste of the bark, the leaves, the fruits it is going to give, every bit is put in the micro level into the seed which is going to evolve again into a tree. To make understand the evolution and what is evolution and involution, we give the example of hen and egg or tree and seed. But when it comes to the reality, every aspect of example cannot be taken. Here it is consciousness involved in a bodily level. It goes to grosser and grosser aspects if it goes on involving. If it goes on evolving, it goes towards freedom. It moves towards greater and greater darkness, greater and greater bondage. The 14 planes of existence, Bhu, Swama, higher levels and lower levels, Atala, Vitala, Sutala and all these things are the various levels of involution and evolution. Higher levels of consciousness and lower levels of consciousness. Now, when the evolution of jiva is taken to the Brahma Loka or the beyond, in case of Krama Vikasa, Krama Mukti, one by one, renouncing one by one, layers of or the planes of existence, it ultimately reaches. The other is the another aspect of existence. That is, involution is a process by which we enter into darker and darker layers of existence. Evolution is freedom, 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 ultimate freedom towards the, and transcend the nature and go. In involution, there is no process of becoming useless and dying away, because it is a conscious entity. It enters into greater and it goes on moving there itself, in greatest darkness, highest darkness it will be, and greatest bondage and suffering. That's why it's called samsara. Samsarati, it goes on moving. It's a vicious circle from which you cannot come out again. So worldliness and dispassion both are at your hand. They are placed in front of you. Scriptures call it Shreyas and Preyas. Preyo Marga and Shreyo Marga. That which is pleasant and that which is good. Pleasant need not be good, good need not be pleasant. So the pleasant, after which whole world runs, the enjoyments and possessions, Kamini Kanchana. The other is the divine hood, which is going towards the mukti, and one is going towards the bandhana. So here he is coming to the second wife, that is worldliness. With the children of the worldliness, your first wife, plead from a distance. If they will not listen, drown them in the wisdom's sea. With the children of worldliness. Worldliness, the products of worldliness, we know what all the dukkha, bandhana, all these are the products. Try to keep away. And if they don't accept, drown them in the ocean of wisdom's sea. That is the knowledge of the Advaita. When everything fails, nothing can be done. Last resort is to hold on to the. I have seen many of the sadhus and also devotees who were in panicky situation when nothing could be done. Especially householder's life is a terrible life. When the problems start coming, when unfavorable circumstances go on, misfortune goes on coming, it comes in blocks and huge magnitude, which is difficult to cross over. The shocks of life are very difficult to hold, and it comes to everyone one time or the other. But how to bear these shocks, and we find the Advaitic knowledge is the only thing that can, this is but a play going on. I need not worry, whatever happens. This is the supreme knowledge of absolute oneness and everything going on as a dream. So, in that knowledge, wisdom's ocean, everything dissolves, all differences dissolve. That's why we see in Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna begins Arjuna, who is struck by despondency. He is not able to do anything. And finally surrenders after a lot of arguments. And surrenders. Then Krishna begins the first sermon with the Advaita, Sankhya Yoga. That is supposed to be the last experience of human existence. Nirvikalpa. Nayanam chindanti shastrani. You are not even this body. Vasamsi jirnani. the bodies go and come. You have passed through many lives, many bodies you are worn and is passing through. Where is the death? Where is the birth? It's only for body. You are continuing your existence in and through passing through many bodies. What does it matter? So, first thing he gives is the Advaitic knowledge that it's all a dream. This play is going on. Allow it to go on. You escape from that. Go beyond the nature. Clear understanding of the whole Bhagavad Gita you can see reflecting in the Arjuna's mind, and finally accepts, yes, Karishe Vachanam Tava. I will do. It begins with the Advaitic knowledge. I have seen, that's what I told you, I have seen in many lives, both monastics and householders, finally they suddenly come to the Advaitic understanding to hold on, continue the life. It's impossible to live. Such situations come in life, and the Advaitic knowledge alone, the Shiva Tattva, what we call, which is unaffected by anything, that it holds on. In nature, they give the example of mongoose and snake fighting together. When mongoose and snake, they counteract each other, you see the fighting goes on. Tremendous fighting. Within few minutes, the mongoose will be able to kill any snake. But sometimes it so happens that snake bites the mongoose. It is poison. It cannot survive, mongoose. It can run away, but it cannot. But the moment it understands that it is bitten by snake, it immediately disappears. Disappears into the forest where it knows a particular plant which is antidote. It will go and take its leaves, bite and put on the wound and also swallow it and get energized and come again for fighting. Like that, anything happens, we go to the Advaitic truth and again come out and start doing our duties of life. So this is the wisdom's sea where all differences dissolve. You see one thing, we have been born in this land of Bharatavarsha, India. We are blessed to be born here because this wisdom, this knowledge is entirely dependent on the eternal principles governing every life, especially the human life. The life is governed, human life and all lives on the earth are governed by laws of nature. These laws are eternal. Society may change, the situations of the world may change, life of the species may change, but the laws remain the same. On these eternal laws, the Hinduism is based. It is not something, because of the social conditions or something, somebody coming and giving, follow this. No. It stands on the firm foundation of realization. The sages have strived very hard to transcend the nature, inner nature, their own nature, external nature, nature outside, nature within, and reach the ultimate beyond the nature. They could enter into the transcendental realm and know everything. They have attained absolute freedom from nature and have become immortal. So immortality they have attained, amritatva. And that is what we are, independent of the bodily existence. To reach that state, they have struggled a lot, and it has not begun at a particular point and ended at a particular point and gone away. Like other religions of the world, it kept on flowing. The ancient sages, what they experienced and started giving it to others. The supreme knowledge, the process of evolution of the jiva, how they transcend the animal nature, human nature, attain absolute perfection, being the pure divine. All these knowledges, knowledge of the absolute, knowledge of the relatives, knowledge of the jivas, every bit of knowledge that makes the man ultimately free, that they have experienced, and now it doesn't end with the experience. They have shared with others. They have made others to know and realize. Now you see, Sri Ramakrishna was waiting for people who are able to understand, grasp and follow it. Last he stands on the kuti and shouts, "Where are you, my children? Where are you? I am waiting, waiting." That call. And so the direct disciples rush there finally. And Naren, you see, asked this question, "Have you seen God?" He says, "Yes, I have seen God more clearly than I am seeing you now. Not only that, I can make you see God." See, this is the sampradaya. I have realized, I make you realize. The realization must continue. This is our Samskriti. The Bharatiya Samskriti is Samskriti of realization of God. It's standing on the firm foundation of realization of God. And it goes on and on from Sri Ramakrishna came and lighted the lamp with new spirit of the same old Vedantic truths. Realization of God is the only purpose of human life. Look here, realize God. I have realized, these have realized, you also realize. So realization of God by transcending the nature and going beyond into the transcendental realm to have the life eternal. This aspect of the knowledge Sri Ramakrishna lighted, and we are following the tradition. So Samskriti means something which is flowing in from the experience. The sages died away, but then what they have realized never died. It is flowing as Vedas, and each person adds to that realization his part and makes it flow further. Now we see in our existence there are three aspects that we inherit. Inheritance. One is the traits that we get from the parents. Parents are responsible for this bodily existence, and their traits, about 20% of the parental traits remains in us. 80% belongs to my past life. I inherit, I come with that software. It's going to push me forward, drive me. I have to have a control over that, otherwise I'll be carried away like last many lives I passed. The other thing is the parental traits and my traits. Apart from these inheritance, we have one more inheritance, the inheritance of culture, cultural inheritance. The culture is flowing and we are born in that culture, the Hindu culture, Hindu Dharma, the Bharatiya Samskriti, the Hindu Samskriti. And in that Samskriti, we acquire the sages from what all they realized from that time, the art, the science, so many things, Mahabharata, Ramayana and all, clearly described. Somewhere we missed the link. Constant invasions from the other side, and some kind of poverty-stricken, people became lazy. All this collective things was the break in the Samskriti. The Samskriti started flowing, tapered down. It did not vanish, but it tapered down. Each one had to add his experience and say, yes, let it flow forward. I have realized God. I have realized God. They should have continued it. They could not. They carried down the old notes of the elder sages. Saints added some part to keep it alive and send it forward. But general public, like Vedic period, 60% of the people were realized souls. Now, we hardly see somewhere in millions and millions of people, one might have realized God somewhere. So, this public, in large number, if they don't participate and make the Samskriti flow, it staggers down. There will be stagnation and staggering steps, staggered steps. It is not a flow. So, our part in our life is to continue that Samskriti. The whole thing, by holding on to the Samskriti, the cultural inheritance in which we are born, imbibing all the principles, imbibing all that what our elders, the great sages and munis, they have given to us, that just to observe in our life, we transcend the nature and go beyond. And it has to be done. We have to see that we participate in it, absorb it, and attain that and give to the future generation. By this, just by adopting, I am overcoming the two internal forces that have made this bodily existence come into existence. One is my own karmic load, the vasanas and karma phalas with which I am born, the 80% software, and another is the parental traits that I inherit. These two are totally suppressed and not allowed to act if I hold on to the Samskriti in which I am born and flowing. I am suppressing, and one day it disappears. When I flow along with the Vedic tradition, what can hold me back of the supreme knowledge? That is the wisdom sea. He is telling wisdom sea it's flowing, it's everywhere. Can I adopt myself to that? Can I make myself flow in it? Can I bring the principles of our Samskriti, the culture in my life? That is the ocean of wisdom. In that wisdom, all worldliness will dissolve. So, here is, see, these things you have to clearly understand and keep it in memory or note down somewhere, that what we inherit is the parental traits, my own karmic load from the last this one, and the another inheritance is the inheritance of cultural inheritance. These three inheritance in which we are flowing. If we neglect, we are neglecting the cultural aspect of our existence. Cultural inheritance, what we gain with what we possess, we are not utilizing, leaving here, there and go. Just like father's property, he struggled and earned lot of money, this, that and wealth, I am just living here, then going away. Like that, I am leaving the Samskriti in which I am born, the highest, supreme, most valuable Samskriti in the whole world, because it is dependent not on a person, it is apaurishaya, it is dependent on the eternal principles governing life on this earth. So, this Samskriti, if we leave loose and I don't absorb, now we have come to the Sri Ramakrishna's tradition. We must know every bit of it, put ourselves, flow into it and give it to the world and go. Then the Samskriti, when incarnation comes, he creates huge waves. Saints create small ripples in the Samskriti. When Avatara comes, that's what Sri Ramakrishna, when Avatara comes, there will be a huge commotion, huge wave coming up. And new things, new awarenesses that we can see happening in our times. We are very close to the avatars, just not even few hundred years. Rama and Lakshmana, we do not know Krishna and all these people, when they came and when they went, of unknown history. But Sri Ramakrishna is just within just if we turn back we can see him. It's a recent history. Wisdom sea. Says Ram Prasad, if you do as I say, you can submit a good account, O mind, to the King of Death, and I shall be well pleased with you and call you my darling, the darling of a child. If you do what I say, Ram Prasad is telling, then you can give a good account to the King of Death. That is, they welcome death, because it cannot do any harm to him. He is all-pervading. He is within the King of Death also. The power which dissociates body from the self. Body alone dies. If I know, if I got the knowledge of myself, the Atma Jnana, then body is a case which has no relationship with me. It's a cover. It's just like a cloth I am holding in front of me, which cannot cover me also. Just I am holding it. And I present myself by holding a cloth. And I am all-pervading. Atma Jnana comes. I am there in the cloth, beyond the cloth, in the body, beyond the body, everywhere, in all beings. Atma Jnana. So, what can death do? What can he catch? What can he dissociate? From where? So then, if you do what I say, then when the King of Death comes to take the body, we are happy. Some old clothes somebody is taking away, unwanted things of the house. He is cleaning, as if the cloth has fallen down. And one devotee, when I was in Bangalore ashrama, that person got initiated by our Prabhu Maharaj in 1970s, early 70s. And that person was telling, when Guru gave the mantra and kept the hand on the head, as if a black cloth covering the whole body fell down as if. The covering of ignorance as if has fallen down. This ignorance, when it falls off, the cloth falls off, and one gets the self-knowledge, Atma-jnana, then where is death? He has crossed the death and gone beyond. Ajnana was creating, just like in dream. Dream you are greatly suffering, one tiger has come and chased you and caught your leg. You are screaming and shouting and get up and see the tiger was not at all there. It was all dream. The same thing happens in the world also with realization of God. You see, nothing existed, only God existed. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.